Right now, as you're watching this, a massive cold front is tearing across this country. From flooding rains threatening southern Quebec, to snow flurries in northern Ontario, to a heat ridge baking British Columbia, Canada is not getting one weather story today. It's getting six. And you need to know which one is yours. Let's get into it. Thanks for tuning into Canada Weather. I'm your host and this is your complete national forecast for Tuesday. We have a lot of ground to cover today and we are starting where the story is most urgent, then working our way coast to coast. Southern Ontario. If you are waking up in the GTA, in Niagara, along the 401 corridor, or anywhere between Windsor and Kingston this morning, stop what you are doing and listen up. We have already seen scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms move through parts of southern Ontario overnight. But the real risk is still ahead of us. Through the late morning and into the early afternoon, watch for some of those showers to become more intense as that cold front slides through the region. The 401 corridor is going to take a hit. And as we push into the afternoon, a second impulse of moisture is going to push up through the Niagara region and graze parts of southwestern Ontario. The strongest of those storms are going to be concentrated in eastern Ontario, angling up toward the Ottawa Valley and into southern Quebec. We are talking about the potential for heavy rainfall, hail, and strong damaging winds. When those storms fire up this afternoon, take them seriously. In terms of rainfall totals across southern Ontario, we are looking at roughly 10 to 20 millimeters through today and into tomorrow. The Lakeshore and the Lower Lakes region sitting on the higher end of that range. Not a catastrophic number but enough to cause localized ponding on roads and slow travel, especially during the evening commute. And we always say it but it bears repeating every single time. If you encounter a flooded roadway, turn around. Do not drive through it. You cannot judge the depth. You cannot judge the current. Turn around, don't drown. Now let us talk about what happens Wednesday across southern Ontario. A weak system is expected to graze the region again, remaining mostly south of the 401. So if you were hoping for a clean break by midweek, you might get it, but it is going to be close. Keep the umbrella handy for Wednesday morning just in case. Now we are moving northeast into Quebec, and this is where the flooding concern becomes very real. Quebec is looking at the most significant weather event of this forecast period. We are dealing with unsettled conditions right through Tuesday. In the morning hours the St. Lawrence corridor starts off relatively quiet, maybe some isolated showers. But as we roll into the afternoon, that is when the energy really picks up. The eastern townships are going to see some of the heaviest downpours of the day. Scattered thunderstorms will develop and some of those could be quite strong. By the late afternoon the worst of it starts to push out east, and by evening you are looking at plain old showers. Still wet, but the fireworks are done. Here is the number that matters most for Quebec today. South of the St. Lawrence, from Sherbrooke into the eastern townships, we are looking at 30 to 50 millimeters of rainfall. That is significant. That is the kind of number that causes streams to overflow, basements to flood, and roads to close. The flooding risk in southern Quebec is genuine and it is serious. If you live in a low-lying area, if you are near a river or a creek, be aware of your surroundings today. Watch for alerts from Environment Canada and have a plan. Montreal, Trois-Rivières, Quebec City, you are going to see this activity become more numerous through the late morning and into the afternoon as that cold front arcs through your region. That arc of showers and storms is also an indicator of strong wind potential behind the front. And as we head overnight and into Wednesday morning, showers will persist through eastern Ontario and southern Quebec with the flooding risk continuing in the most saturated areas. Alright, let us head east now into the Atlantic. And the good news is, if you needed some good news, Tuesday is shaping up to be a genuinely beautiful day across much of Atlantic Canada. Temperatures are rising, the sun is shining, and conditions across the Maritimes are going to be warm through the afternoon. Some of you in the Maritimes are jumping up into the low 20s. That is exceptional for this time of year. In Newfoundland, temperatures settle into the mid-teens, with St. John's sitting at around 14 degrees under mostly sunny skies. Honestly, it does not get much better than this. But here is the catch. Enjoy it while it lasts. That sunshine does not stick around for long. By Wednesday we are already watching rain showers begin to push into parts of New Brunswick as that same cold front that caused all the trouble farther west slowly tracks its way east. And by Thursday, that rain activity spreads further east across the Maritimes as the front works its way through the region. So Tuesday is your window. If you have outdoor plans in Atlantic Canada, Tuesday is the day. Now let us head west into northern Ontario, and the story here is a sharp contrast to what we are seeing farther south. A persistent upper-level low is still locked in place over the region, and that means another cold day is ahead. Afternoon temperatures are going to be sitting in the lower single digits across much of northern Ontario. The warm spot in the north is Sudbury, coming in around 11 degrees, but up in Geraldton you are looking at just 2 degrees, and there is a legitimate risk of flurries throughout the day. Snow in May sounds cruel, and it is, but those bursts of snow wrapping around that upper-level system are going to persist on and off throughout the day. And to make matters worse, the winds are not going to give you any relief. Gusty westerly winds around 50 km per hour, particularly through northeastern Ontario. Wind chills are going to make those already cold temperatures feel even harsher. Dress accordingly and give yourself extra time on the roads. Heading onto the prairies now, and Manitoba is really bearing the brunt of things. Still sitting underneath the influence of that low-pressure system, you are going to see cloud cover throughout the day on Tuesday. Across the central and northeastern sections of the province, there is even the chance of a few flurries through the morning before things start to dry out into the afternoon. The winds are also going to be quite breezy across all 3 prairie provinces today. That northerly flow is firmly in place, and that is keeping temperatures locked in the single digits for Saskatchewan and Manitoba through the afternoon. Not a great day if you were hoping for spring. Alberta is catching a bit of a break though. Some sunshine is working its way in today, and temperatures are slowly starting to recover from the cold stretch the province has been locked in. You are not in the clear yet, but the trend is heading in the right direction. And then there is British Columbia. If there is one province absolutely loving life right now, it is BC. That ridge of high pressure is firmly in control and temperatures through the interior regions are climbing into the upper 20s. Even Vancouver, which often plays the part of the rainy coast, is sitting at a very comfortable 21 degrees today. Nothing to complain about whatsoever. But Wednesday brings a small catch for parts of British Columbia as well. A weak disturbance is going to track across the south of the province, and that could be enough to spark off some afternoon and evening showers across the southern interior and into the Rockies. There is even a chance of a rumble or two of thunder. The main concern there is some locally heavy rainfall, particularly over the mountains where the terrain can really funnel and enhance precipitation. Not a washout by any means, but something to be aware of if you are heading into the backcountry Wednesday afternoon. Finally, let us take a look at the northern regions of the country. There is a real divide happening up here. The eastern sections are cool and unsettled. But the western sections are actually seeing some quite pleasant conditions with sunshine making an appearance. The exception to that would be central and northern Yukon, where showers are expected to develop as we push through the afternoon and into the evening. So to sum up your Tuesday across Canada, the biggest weather story is the flooding rain threat across southern Quebec. Watch those totals, watch those rivers, and know where you are going before you head out. Southern Ontario watches for strong storms this afternoon and evening, especially in the east. Atlantic Canada, enjoy your beautiful day while it lasts because the rain is coming Wednesday. Northern Ontario digs out from another cold and blustery day. The prairies stay cool and breezy under that northerly flow. And British Columbia keeps the summer vibes going just a little bit longer. Stay safe out there. That is your national forecast for Tuesday night to Wednesday.